What's up, everyone? Welcome back to After the Storm. This is the Canes game review for game number 55 of the season, a 3-2 overtime win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And introing this game, the Finnish father, Antti Raanta, is back in the net. He comes back in for his start following that Detroit game where he kind of got left out to dry, but had a very, very good start. Carolina's coming off a horrible loss to the Washington Capitals where they just were not in the game. Facing off against Casey DeSmith, who had a very, very good game in this one for Pittsburgh. And Seth Jarvis comes back into the lineup for Derek Stepan. And early on in the first, Marcus Pettersson at the point makes a nice play. Great read on this play. Kind of like a little slap pass right to Jake Guentzel on the backhand. Tips it past Antti Raanta. And the Pittsburgh Penguins early on lead 1-0. After the goal, Nino Niederreiter taking a slashing penalty on Chad Ruhwedel. A retaliation call that you just can't take. Pittsburgh to their first power play, but Carolina would kill it off. But unfortunately, right after the penalty would expire, Sidney Crosby gets his, I don't even know, 17th, I think, on the season here to make it 2-0 Pittsburgh. And that's how the first period would end. It seemed like we were getting a complete repeat of the Washington game. Carolina was not doing much in the first period, not generating a whole lot of chances. Early on in the second, though, Stahl whacks home a rebound through a crowd of traffic, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. Niederreiter would later on get a 2-on-1, I believe, on the other side was Jordan Stahl. Nino opts to shoot, but Casey DeSmith comes up huge with a save. Marcus Pettersson, who made that excellent play early on in the game, takes a cross-checking penalty here, sending Carolina to their first power play of the game. Not a whole lot generated here. Pittsburgh kills this one off. Steven Lawrence kind of works his way in, powers through, gets a nice chance on Casey DeSmith, but again, arguably the best player, I think, for the Penguins in this one was Casey DeSmith. He makes a great stop here. Nino Niederreiter, who continues to be a great part of that third line, ends up hitting the post off of a below the goal line set out from Jesper Fast. The second period comes to an end. Carolina gets a goal back early on, generate a little bit of momentum heading to the third period, but it still remains 2-1 Pittsburgh. Aho with a big chance to open up the third, but Casey DeSmith keeps up his stellar play here. Makes a big stop on Sebastian Aho. Kasperi Kapanen, an explosive elite talent, especially with the shot, with the speed. He comes in, gets a chance, but Raanta turns him away. And then a very innocent-looking play. It looks like Pittsburgh was just casually kind of clearing the zone on this play. The puck finds its way back to the point. Ethan Bear just throwing it on, really, and Jordan Stahl with the tip. And we are tied 2-2. And we follow that up with a struggling player taking a penalty. Nietzsche's heads to the box. I'm not sure exactly what he went off for. It might have been a slash. But Pittsburgh to their second power play of the game. Not a whole lot, again, generated here for the Penguins. A great penalty kill continues its work. Penguins get a too many men on the ice call towards the end of the game. Carolina hits their second power play of the game. Jesperi Kotkaniemi would have a great opportunity on this power play, but was stopped. Time expires. Before the power play expires, we head to overtime, tied up at 2-2 in a game where it didn't really look like Carolina was going to be in it or really get a point out of it. So at this point, you have to consider it a bit of a success, given how the first period went. And in overtime, some back and forth, but not a whole lot of quality chances. Both teams played some pretty good defense on one another. And Nino Niederreiter, who was a fantastic player for the Canes in this one, it appears, I can't remember if Letang took the penalty on him, but he might have. I can't even remember who it was. It might have been Aho, too. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But nevertheless, Letang, takes a hit in the corner, doesn't like it, skates back up the ice, and, takes a retaliation penalty. I have a problem with this kind of penalty, and I know the reason why they likely called this here was probably just to try and defuse or something. I don't really know. Again, I had seen like 2 or 3 plays prior to this where it doesn't even make sense to call this one on Letang. But nevertheless, Letang off to the box. Carolina back to the power play in overtime with a chance to win it. And Andrei Svechnikov on a rebound buries the puck. 3-2 Carolina wins. Casey DeSmith was pissed at the end of this game. So moving on to some player analysis, kicking it off with the good. Jordan Staal just continues. As soon as he, started scoring some goals, he just got himself right out of that slump. Something that Martin Necas has to figure out how to do. 2 goals in this one against his former team, scored against his former team in the matchup earlier on in the season, but he looks to be getting back to that power forward that we all know and love, the captain of the team. The top line of Carolina, the sad line, I thought had another excellent game in this one. Didn't get rewarded a whole lot towards the end, or until the end of the game, I should say. But they are still controlling offense very, very well. There's no real reason to break that line up at this point. And the other one I had was Nino Niederreiter, just getting under the skin of the Pittsburgh Penguins the entire night. It was an excellent game from him, and he got rewarded. As for average players, I didn't have any. I thought everybody had kind of a good game after a rough start. Maybe if you want to throw anybody in this category, it was Ronta, who I didn't think had like a tremendous game, but it was excellent nonetheless. In bad, I had none. I don't think anybody was bad in this one. A pretty solid effort from everybody on the team. And highlighting a Penguins player, let's highlight Casey DeSmith, who really had a solid game in the Pittsburgh net. Doesn't come out with the win. Likely due to that Letang penalty at the end of the game, but otherwise a fantastic goaltending display from Casey DeSmith. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button down below if you liked today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. There's tons of content here you can find. There's gaming stuff on the channel here. There's obviously the Canes game reviews that come at you mostly after every single game. And hit the notification bell. There are some scheduled videos that come out, like the NHL 2005 series comes out on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. The Atlanta Thrashers at Friday at 5 p.m. And then there's obviously some random videos that come out around the channel as well. But yeah, that will do it for this one. There will be no Canes game review for the Sunday matchup for the Seattle Kraken. I won't be able to see the game. I'm going to be watching AEW Revolution on pay-per-view, so won't get a chance to do a Canes game review for that, but we will be back in the week with more. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will catch you on the next one.